Hello there. In this video, we're going to start making our buttons for our design system. So let's go. Okay, so welcome back to the file. One thing that I wanted to adjust just before we started was on the text field, and that was the hovered state. Kind of feel like it wasn't very obvious, so I'm just going to bump that up from 1 pixel to 2. There we go. So for now, I think that looks a little bit better for hovered, so I'm just going to close that off and publish those changes. Okay, so that's all done. Right, okay, so in this video we want to look at some buttons. Let's click on Add New Page at the top, the plus, and let's call this page Button for now. Let's go into our text field, File, and just steal the layout for the moment. Let's close that, go here. Let's just remove that for now. And let's just update some of these elements. Okay, while we're here, let's just have a look at the states that we've got. So I don't think we're going to need placeholders. Right, so I'm just going to steal these. Just take that. Let's lock that layer there. Go back into buttons. There we go. Okay, so we're going to need enabled. We're going to need hovered. We're going to need focused. We're going to need pressed, activated, and disabled. So let's just get rid of that one there. So these are going to be our key states for when we're creating our buttons. Okay, something else that I want to do is I'm just going to copy the states out here, paste them in here. I'm going to set them to horizontal, and let's just adjust the width and height for a moment. Yeah, I'll just label that as variants for now. So what we want here is we want our primary buttons, we want secondary buttons, and let's do tertiary. And let me just delete out these remaining ones here because we don't need those. Okay, so for the moment I'll just leave them like that for now. Let me just go over to the side, draw out a frame just as like a test area. So inside here, let's just draw out a frame quickly, and let's just press T for the text tool, click inside, and let's just type button label. Now let's just apply our text variables. Okay, that's great, so that's all done. Let's just make sure our text is using neutral 900 for now. First of all, let's just give the background any color just so we can see it. Now I'm going to press Shift A, so that applies an auto layout. And now I just want to apply some variables here. So let's apply, so I use 8 pixels for the horizontal gap. Let's just apply 16 here, and let's apply 8 here. Still looks a little bit rough around the edges, so let's just click on that again, and let's apply 8 pixel to round the corners of the button. Okay, there we go. Just out of curiosity, if I type, okay, that's good. That's set to hug. Okay, so just quickly going back to our navigation bar. Let's go into here first. Let me just steal that component for a moment. Let's go into here. Let's just pop that there. So for the enabled state, I'm going to need to do something else. Let's start off with hovered. So if I just put this next to hovered, so I'm going to press I on the keyboard. So I'm going to hold Shift and I'm going to click, and that applies the hovered color here. I'm just going to update that text because neutral 900 doesn't work, but neutral 0 will. Okay, I'm just going to hold Option and click and drag to drag out another copy of the button. Okay, so I'm just jumping on to another state, which is pressed. So we have got to apply the small shadow, and what's the color here? It's Sapphire 400. So let's do the color first. So Sapphire 400. Let's go into effects. Let's click on the plus. Let's apply our shadow variables. Just going to go up to modes, go to shadows, select small, and just double check. Yeah, that's fine. So that is small. Okay, I'm going to option, click and drag to the next state, which is activated. So that is a color of Sapphire 500. So let's go up from 4 to 500. Let's remove the shadow so we don't have that anymore. So I'm going to click on this button, I'm going to option, click and drag. Okay, and now let's have a look at disabled. So I'm going to press I on the keyboard and hold Shift, and I'm going to click, and that applies the color neutral 100 for me, so that's good. Okay, so we've got 2 remaining states to do. Let's go back to hovered. Let's click on option, click and drag, bring that up here. I'm just going to change sapphire from 300 down to 200, and for now that will be our enabled state for this button. Okay, let's click in here. Now I'm going to option, click and drag, and I'm going to go down to the focused. Okay, and now what we want to do is add the focus state to this. So let's click on the stroke. I'm going to click on the 4 dots here. I'm going to add neutral 900, and I'm going to make this a 2 pixel stroke for now, and that will be our focus state for the button. Alright, and that should be our primary buttons done for now. Let's remove this component for now that we borrowed. Let's go into here and let's start renaming some of these things. So Command R, so this is enabled. Let's click on the next one, Command R, that's hovered. Go here, Command R, focused. Again, Command R, pressed. Funny enough, Command R, activated. And again, Command R, disabled. There we go. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to go up to here on the create component options, going to click on the drop down, and I'm going to click on create multiple components. Now I'm going to combine as variants, and I'm going to rename this to buttons, or I'll just put button for now. I think that's fine. Let's click and let's see if we can drag this. Let's drag it onto our page here. Now we want to put it, we want to put it inside, maybe not inside there, but okay, that should be fine. Let's select these 2 elements, Shift A, let's set it as a vertical layout, and let's move these above those. That should be fine. Just increase the spacing slightly, and let's just adjust this one as well. Okay, for now that will do the job. I think that's fine. Let's just go through our different buttons. Let's just make sure these are actually aligned because they look slightly off. Okay, that's a bit better. Let's click on the component here. Let's rename this property 1 to states. Let's go into the states and make sure they're in the correct order. Now they don't appear to be in the correct order, but that's fine. You can click here, hold and drag to the top. So let's do enabled. Let's do hovered, focused. Where are we? Pressed, activated and disabled. Okay, great, we can close that. Okay, now we can focus on our next button style, which will be secondary. So let's go into here, let's go into the component. I've just pulled this out a little bit as well to give us a bit more space. What we probably need to do as well is we've got our different states, but we're going to have our different styles of buttons. So we need to add another variant up here so we can select the different states and also select the different styles. So let's click on here, we're on the component, we're under properties, click on the plus, we're going to add a new variant, we'll call it style, and for now we're going to apply the default style as primary because that's the buttons we've created. Click on create property, that style now exists, and when I click on our button here, you can see we've got our states and we've now got our style, which just has primary for now. What I'm going to do is click on the plus, which adds a new button to our component to use. As you can see, it's saying the properties and values of this variant are conflicting. That's fine because we've just duplicated the primary enabled state. What I'm going to do is rename the style to secondary. The error disappears now because we've now got a unique style of secondary and its state is enabled. So let's go in and customize this state. So I'm going to remove the field to begin with, and I'm just going to select the text, go to neutral, let's go to 900. Let's click on the button itself, let's apply a stroke. So let's go here, click on the dots, let's go neutral, let's use 500 for now. Let's click off, let's go to our hovered state now, so let's click plus here. Let's drag this button down. So for our hovered state, let's click on the label, let's click on I on the keyboard, let's go over to here, hold shift, click, let's apply that color to the label itself. Let's click here, let's go to the stroke, just trying to remember what color this is Sapphire 300, so let's go here, Sapphire 300, there we go, so that'll be our hovered state. Okay, that should be fine. Let's go down here, let's click on the plus, let's drag this out, whoops, let's drag the button down a bit. One thing I've forgotten to do here is rename the state, so it's not enabled, it's hovered. So let's just click to the end, click on enter, so we've got hovered secondary. Let's go here, let's rename that to focused, click on enter. Okay, so let's change that text, let's do neutral, let's go 900, let's go here. Now, I'm trying to remember, I think we used neutral 900 for the stroke, so that's fine. So let's go here, click on the stroke, go neutral 900 and increase that stroke to 2 pixels. There we go. Now I'm just going to click on the plus, drag it down again. Okay, so for the press state, let's click on the button, let's go into the stroke. Let me just check what the color is for this actually. It's Sapphire 4. Okay, go into the stroke, Sapphire 400, and it does have a small drop shadow as well, so let's add the drop shadow. So go to effects, let's add the variables. Okay, let's just toggle that mode on so that's got small. Let's add a background to this button of neutral 0. Let's just align these so they align as well. Okay, so now we can see that drop shadow as well. Got the color applied to the stroke, so that's for pressed. Okay, let's click on the plus. Let's just drag that down. Just need to check that I have in fact renamed that pressed, and I haven't, so that's fine. Let's just go in and rename that. Click on enter. So for activated, let's go in. Let's just give that the name of activated for the state. Let's remove the shadow because we don't have a shadow, and let's just double check. So we're on Sapphire 500, which is what we need here. And let's just bump that up here to 2 pixels. And let's just go back in, and we don't need the shadow. Okay, that's good, that's gone. Alright, and last of all we've got disabled. So let me just take the enabled button, click on the plus, let's drag it down. And let me just refresh my memory. So it's neutral 100, so let's do that for both text and for the stroke. And there we go, that can be our disabled button for the moment. Okay, I think that looks good. So that's primary and secondary for the moment. Okay, that's it for part 1 of the video, so keep watching and I'll do part 2 next week. So like and subscribe, add some comments, and I will see you in the next video.